Just gonna wait for Shan to pop her face in. So this live will be about yoni empowering, loving yourself, queens, and just all things positivity. And it's obviously mental health awareness this week as well. So we're going to be touching on a few things like that and how to empower other women. So make sure you stay on. I'm just going to try and look for Shan. She should have requested. You have a look. Just wait for her to come on. I'm so not good at this Insta Live, I'm telling you. Here we go. Right, she's come up. I can't wait.
I'm always so amazed that technology works. So I'm like flabbergasted. We made it. Hello.
No, you look absolutely stunning.
Oh, thank you so much. I chose my best window to sit in front of. Also, too, you look incredible. I just want to talk about you, your life, how much things have changed. It's so fascinating. You know, we were like, you know, ships passing in the night on the show, but you were such a firecracker then, and I'm so proud of you and in awe of all your success. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what? Ever since the show, I haven't seen you since the show. So,
I know.
Honestly, this is just, yeah, you helped me a lot. Like, like, you've obviously seen the show.
Yes.
And just ever since that Yoni Empowerment Workshop, I've just been like, you know what? I'm going to respect myself. If you're going to mug me off or treat me wrong, I'm like, no. Sniff them out my life.
Well, what defines respect for you?
What defines respect? Someone that values your opinion, someone that doesn't just look at you and like just thinks you're stupid. Like someone that understands where you're coming from, someone that takes the time to listen to you, to understand you as a person. Because like so many people will watch the show and think, oh, Chloe's just really ditzy. And I am ditzy, I admit that. And I just embrace it. But I think it's really important for a man to kind of see that funny, silly side of you, but then to also respect like the deeper core inside of you. Do you know what I mean? Without getting too deep, but yeah, that's respect.
No, that was yeah, because when you first came on the show, you self-identified as not the sharpest tool in the shed. And when I was around you, I was like, she is so sharp. You're so quick. You're so on the ball. You're very observant. You know, you're somebody who, even afterwards, people were like, Chloe really, you know, knew what she was there to do. She really knew that she saw a greater purpose for herself. And when we were there, it was very clear too that you were a leader for everybody, that everybody looked to you to set the tone. So it was interesting when I watched it back and I was like, oh, she self-identifies and, you know, kind of finds her niche in just being not the brightest, but you really are bright. So I'm really happy to hear that you're redefining that for yourself.
Oh, thank you. I would say I'm blushing, but I'm actually sunburned.
Okay.
But
Same
I am
girl.
blushing.
It looks
I
great.
am blushing.
Yeah. You got that Mexican vintage thing going
Yeah,
on.
definitely. I mean, I've got no makeup on. I've just stuck my eyelashes on. But yeah, my skin at the moment is sort of getting to that time of the month, and I feel really bloated all the time. But you just got to embrace it.
Yeah, you have to embrace it. I mean, that's a whole part of the journey, right? The whole Yoni workshop in general was just really just about being in awe of all that your body can do. And not just what your body can do for others, but what it does for the world and what it means to the world at large. And so I even really like redefine that the word respect comes from the root word respierce. And to respierce just means to look at, to observe somebody. So respecting somebody is exactly what you said. It's seeing somebody for all that they are, for who they are, and for wanting to honor that, not wanting to adjust it or manipulate that for your own needs and your own good. So sometimes it's a matter of like just respecting your own body, is acknowledging that there's greater things at play than wanting to feel cute or wanting to feel your best, that your body's got a greater plan for you. I'm pregnant right now, so I've definitely been like really trying to be like, this is the way it's supposed to be. I'm respecting my body, even though my body, you know, doesn't care about me right now.
You
but
are glowing.
I'm on my own Yoni journey.
Honestly, you are. But it's so. But that's what I mean. Like, you're gonna have that baby out of your yoni. Like, it's such a magical thing, don't you think?
Oh yeah. And that's the thing is, you know, when you're going through the phase of, you know, menstruating month after month, or, you know, our yonis take on so many different forms or different personas just based on where we're at in life. And so that's a part of the respecting of it, is just being in awe of all the amazing things. I always look at it sometimes like that's the center of my creativity, because that's literally the center of the creativity of the world. And it's cool to be creating a life down there. I feel like shit, but you know, you trade one greatness for another. It's always a trade-off in life.
Yeah, definitely. I'm congratulations though. You look.
Oh, thank
How
you.
far along are you?
I'm 16 weeks, so I'm 4 months.
So I mean, it must be really hard, like during quarantine. Are you quarantining where you are? Are you on
Yeah,
lockdown?
so I'm in Los Angeles, yes, and we're definitely quarantining over here. It's difficult because of my husband can't come with me to the doctor's appointment. You're not allowed to have him in.
No.
But it's been great because I've just wanted to be home and wrapped up in a blanket and not talking to anybody. So I've been grateful just because I've just got to really reset for myself. How's it been for you? Because you have this massive platform, you know, life has changed for you, but now you're just indoors all the time. So life is changing like a not so great way.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone says to me, like, is it weird? Like, have you experienced the, are you there? Sorry, I think it lags a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I think everyone's just like, I'm dealing with it fine in quarantine, social distancing, isolating. My house is a madhouse, so I never get bored. So my mum and dad are just like me. So my future boyfriend, if you're watching this, like, this is what you're going to be entering, like a world of Chloe. But yeah, no, I mean, like, since the show's come out, I've had nothing but positive response. And for me, like, I really love the response that I've been getting from women all over the world. Like, women empowerment is now my thing. Like, I'm so passionate about it. Like, I used to hate myself like a few years ago, and I used to think I was horrible, I was ugly, I was too skinny. I used to think like I wasn't attractive, and a lot of stuff happened in my life that kind of put me down. And I experienced what I experienced for a reason, because I'm now a stronger, independent woman who loves herself and who can share that with a great platform of other women around the world. And I'm so blessed to be able to talk to women around the world, like people from Brazil. Hi, everyone that's watching from Brazil, like people from America. I'm so overwhelmed with all the love and support. And I think I'm kind of like working on something. I've got like an announcement this Friday. So anyone that's watching this, I just want to let you know that I am going to be announcing something very soon. I can't give any clues away.
What can you get? Oh, was that a clue just there? Okay.
But it's around like women empowerment, and like I really wanted to kind of contribute to women around the world, because I think it's a really, really sensitive subject for me. Like, just making sure women know their worth and respect their yonis. And yeah, so I'll be announcing that this Friday. So keep tuned.
Isn't that like, did you ever think that this would be your purpose? Like, did you ever look and say that being a role model for women, being somebody who feels in control of their body and empowers other people to feel the same way, like, this is who Chloe will end up being in her early, like, what are you, like 20 years old?
21.
Still? Okay. Yeah. Was this ever a part of, even as you were a kid, the purpose you like saw for yourself?
To be honest, I live in such a small town. I just thought I will, I didn't know, because I think when it's natural for people to, like, I thought less of myself. I underestimated myself up until a certain point in my life where I was like, I can do this. Like, I want to be a woman in power. I want to find love and respect myself at the same time. I don't want to have to go through thousands of boys to find that one. Like, there's a loophole you can go through. If you don't give yourself out too easily, half of the guys that aren't right for you are going to drop straight in the bin. So you don't have to go through those boys if you're like respecting yourself, and because the ones that will respect you will come, they'll gravitate towards you.
Yes.
But yeah,
but the shitty ones will come regardless. I always say that to people, you know, the people who are just going to try the numbers game, they're going to hit on everybody. So you're never going to avoid that douchebaggy, you know, for lack of a better term, Corey-esque. I don't know him as an individual, but you know who he was portrayed as on the show. You're never going to be able to avoid those types that they're just going to throw themselves at everybody. But you will start to notice the more quality men, the one who respect the partners in general, who see you for who you are. You'll start to actually pay more attention to them because you're more in tune to that vibration. So that sounds really like you're on that path.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you fill me with, I don't know how to explain it. Just when you talk, I'm like, I love it.
That's good.
It
Sounds like an orgasm.
Like a counselling session. You're like refreshing my mind of all of the good stuff that I need to hear.
No, it's amazing. I honestly, you know, I started my journey as a sex educator when I was 19 years old. And so I began for the exact same reasons that you did. I had a really shitty teen sex life, and I thought there has to be something different. Mm-hmm. And I knew that my unique perspective would be empowering and powerful for people in my age group, people who look like me, but people who've identified with my story. So to hear you kind of going on this exact same path and finding your footing in this way, and even just my limited interactions with you, feeling that sort of sense of self-confidence, that sense of sureness, even though I don't think you were sure at the time, I'm really happy for you. I'm excited for Friday. I'm excited for what this whole experience will bring. It's pretty crazy that this reality show really made a real impact on a human being.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think people that watch the show, like when the trailer came out, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this show about? Like, what is going to be portrayed? What are we going to look like? And when I actually watched the show, I was just like, I think I cried at least 3 times because I experienced it.
When did you cry?
Yeah, I cried at the Yoli challenge because it's so important. Like, I honestly, I know I keep on blabbing on about it, but it all, for me, it all stems from confidence within yourself and loving yourself. And you can do anything in life. If you want to go for that job interview, you can go for that job interview. Like, I'm not saying you can't do that if you don't have the confidence or love yourself, but like, I just, every woman is beautiful, and I can't stress that enough. I really can't. Yeah. And like, when I watched the show, I did get emotional because the person I went into the show as and the person I come out of the show as, people don't actually believe I'm now a different woman. I went in there thinking, do you know what? There's nothing wrong with just having a quick bunk up or going to see someone quickly and like sharing a little kiss. But it's like when you go through something like that, like the show and the Yoli workshop and all the other workshops being counted and like seeing other people's journeys, it kind of just made me think I deserve better.
Yes.
I deserve better. And I can only do that for myself. Like, you can tell me 1,000 times, like, don't eat that food because it's not good for you, or don't go for them certain guys' clothes because they're not good for you. But unless I believe that in myself and I truly understand, right, okay, that actually isn't good for me, then I won't revert back to it, because I've learned that lesson, and the show was a massive lesson for me. So I went in there as one person and come out another. So I'm really grateful.
If there's any like people from that show who put that together watching this right now, I would be bawling my eyes out just because dying right now. This is, exactly what I'm sure a lot of them aim to do. And I love that you even just mentioned that. Like, one of the things that I felt with the Yoni workshops, I know in the end, everybody like left with the protect your Yoni mantra, which is a really beautiful thing to say. But I really want to stress that, like, protection doesn't necessarily mean creating a wall. It doesn't mean that putting up barriers or preventing or taking on almost an aggressive stance, because protecting can be inviting people in who bring you pleasure and joy. Protecting, when you're protecting or you're looking after your body, looking after your health, it's about inviting healthy foods in and healthy people and engaging in exercise. So there is an outward energy that goes with that. But on the flip side, yes, you also have to be like, I'm not going to partake in those substances or those individuals. Like, I'm protecting myself against harmful things, but I'm also still open to inviting positive things into my life. So the goal isn't that everybody puts the chastity belt on and goes out there in the world like, my yoni is a no-go zone, because it's the joy of your body parts is sharing it and expressing it how you want, and nobody can define that but you, like you just said. So that's a journey that it's an idea that you can bring to anybody, but the end result will look different for each person. I actually am kind of curious. So after the show, where did you end up on the whole like chastity scale?
So when I left the show, I got picked up from the airport, of who was, so I got picked up from the airport, and from the airport, I was kind of like, I'm not going to talk to anyone. I'm not going to just have sex with random people. And I think for me, sorry, my dog's just come in. She's so loud.
It's like she's playing an instrument.
For me, like, when I come out of the show, I was speaking to a guy like a couple of weeks after I come out, and I'm so sorry. She just, hello.
Talking about the love in your life.
And,
don't forget about me.
And I actually moved in with him. And it didn't really go too well. And that's
You
scared.
moved in with the person you were seeing before the show.
No,
so
I didn't know him. And obviously I went in the show. And then when I come out of the show single, I started talking to some guy. And I started like really talking to him. I really liked him. And I was like, oh, he invited me to move in. He was like, move in. I'm like, okay. And it just turned really sour and really toxic. I'm not going to get into too much of it, but that kind of scared me because I went through that experience. I was like, I cannot go down that road again. I don't want to get with someone that is really controlling and really manipulative and really toxic, because that ruins me. And I'm so easily influenced. Like, I'm such a vibe when it comes to relationships. I'm bouncing off the walls. I'm always happy, positive. And when someone doesn't really give me that back, I'm like, oh, it drains the energy out of you. But in terms, in chastity levels, I would say I've been a really good girl. There's been a couple of guys that I've like met, dated, slept with. But I haven't gone out, had one night stands. I haven't like just randomly rang someone up and go, do you want to meet quickly? Like that hasn't happened. It's more on like the dating scale, which is really good for me.
Yes. I think at a certain point, I remember saying to myself, like, to me, a good sexual experience lasts for 3 weeks. It's not just the night itself or the day, whatever time of day that you choose to engage with somebody, but 3 weeks later, am I still proud of that decision? 3 weeks later, do I still think back on that? Like, that was a vibe, that was good. And so if I didn't, then I'm like, that wasn't a good experience. Even if 3 weeks later, I'm having concerns about my health, or 3 weeks later, I'm having concerns about my fertility. So I think that, kind of, you can still have great one night stand sex, but you get, again, it's up to you to define what great and what not great is. And I think it's so natural too, to come out of an experience and go back to your old ways. It's like when you stop eating meat for a long time, and then somebody is like, do you want to bite of this burger? And you're like, you know what? I haven't had a burger in a long time. Let me bite it. And then you eat it and you feel sick and you're like, oh, I really don't fuck with meat anymore. So it feels like that dude that you moved in with was your like, oh, I really don't fuck with beef anymore moment.
Yeah.
And those are important to have.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, do you know what it taught me? To any girls that are watching this, like, even though I was empowered on the show and I went through a kind of change, if you must, when obviously that thing happened with Corey, and you kind of give me that strength to say, do you know what, I'm not going to fuck with you anymore. And even going through that and coming out of the show, you have to like live and learn. And I've been doing that my whole life, and it's okay to make mistakes sometimes, and it's okay to, like you said, have a one night stand, just use protection, and just make sure you're in a safe environment, and just like just make sure you're enjoying it and it doesn't feel like, I don't know. I think it is really important to respect yourself as a woman, but it is also nature to just have fun. And for me, I really like someone that's really romantic and really likes spur of the moment. So if a guy puts a lot of effort into me, then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really sexy. Like, being spontaneous with a guy is the best thing in the world. I just don't know if I'm ready for love yet. I think I'm just working on myself, and I think that's okay.
100%. You know, I think that you're almost in your university phase right now. You know, when you're retraining your mind, you're retraining your soul and your system, you're introducing yourself back into the dating and intimate space, but as a different person. It takes some trial and error, and it takes some exploring to really land on who you are. And if you don't know that yet, it's hard to choose the best person for you. So I think the journey that you're on of like releasing whatever you're releasing into the world on Friday, like redefining who it is that you're putting out there and allowing the world to understand you, and through that understanding yourself, like those are the perfect steps that are going to bring you closer to the goal. I think that we have all this pressure to, if we're going to be good lovers, we have to be in love. You know, if we're going to be empowered, then we have to be sharing that directly with somebody else. But sometimes it's like keeping that for yourself is something really cool. And I'm like trying to read your shirt this whole time. I'm like, what does it say on it? Like, is there, yeah, see, I don't have the eyes for that.
You know what? I found something out the other day, Shan. It was another Chloe moment, unfortunately. So I was in the mirror and I've got a ring on my finger. So it's not an engagement ring. Oh, my dog's going absolutely mental.
Like, that's my engagement ring. I gave that to you. Tell them the truth.
Yeah. Well, I took a photo in the mirror. Oh my gosh, my dog. Sorry. I took a picture in the mirror and someone thought that I was engaged, because when you take a picture in a reflection, it kind of looks like it's on the opposite side of your body or whatever.
Yeah.
So on this top, you can't actually read what it says because it's backwards, because I'm using the front. But it's to do with like, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's like just loving yourself, like women empowerment. And I'm announcing it on Friday, and I think it's really important for me to kind of contribute to the announcement, that I have been doing a lot of research into like how I can help other women. What can I do with my platform? Like, I can't go round to every house and give them a cuddle and sit there and have a cup of tea with them, and I'd absolutely love to, because I love a cup of tea.
But it's illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal. Of course it is. But I mean, I think it's really, like, everyone's saying, oh, Chloe, I want you to be my best friend. And I'm like, oh, I want to be your best friend too. So I think this is like my way of saying, girls, I'm here for ya. I'm contributing. I'm trying my hardest to contribute to something. And I'm going to be announcing it on Friday, so I can't stress enough. Like, I want all the girls to keep on watching and keep an eye out, and even you, Shan, because you're definitely going to love it.
Oh, good. I hope that I get like a text afterwards, like what it actually is, because I'm not good at secrets and I love gossip so much, so I'm dying to know what this is. But no, I'm really in awe of the direction that you're taking. I think that's incredible. A lot of people might go in the opposite direction during this time when they're getting so much attention, because it can feel like I can't imagine the pressure you must feel right now just to be a lot of things to a lot of different people, and a lot of people are following you, and they all have different ideas of who you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to provide for them. So they kind of cutting through all that noise and really knowing intuitively for yourself what you're meant to put out there and who you actually are. Like that takes a lot of time and a lot of courage. So kudos to you. I think that you're on a really amazing journey. I can't wait to see where this unfolds for you. And it's crazy to me. It literally is nuts to me to think about that show really did make a big impact for people, because, you know, when we were there, it was just short space and time and such a very chaotic environment in many ways. And so you're a few people who got to get through that and really find something useful for themselves out of it. How big was that Corey moment for you? Like, what is the difference between like old you and you in that moment, or who you had become in responding to that?
So I think it's so easy for girls to just accept someone being a knob, and they make excuses for them because they like them. And most of what I see on screen, I didn't actually know about. So I didn't know that he had kind of had a chat with other people saying he didn't like me. It's all in the past. Like, me and Corey even speak now. We're really good friends. He's a really nice guy. I just think he, I don't know. I don't really want to speak for him. But I think Corey kind of knows where he went wrong. And he's developing himself. And we speak all the time. But I think in terms of me and how that affected me was, I don't have a backbone when it comes to relationships, because I'm so positive and happy all the time. If they treat me bad, I forgive them and I'm like, oh, that's fine. Or if I don't feel like I'm being valued enough or respected enough, I'll make excuses for that. Oh, they're busy, or they've got a lot on their mind. And it's like, those things should kind of, for me, come naturally in a person. Like, I'm really busy with work at the minute and announcements that are coming on Friday. But if I was talking to someone and I really genuinely like them, I would be like, completely honest with them, and I would respect them. That was a massive eye opener for me, because as soon as that moment happened, it was like, Chloe, you've just stuck up for yourself. Like, in terms of guys and girls, like, it's okay for you to kind of be confrontational when it comes to something like that. Obviously, violence is a no-go. But in terms of me sticking up for myself, that needed to happen. And it was uncomfortable at the time. I didn't want to do it. I was a bit like, I need to say something, because I can't, like, I'm being watched by millions of people.
Yes.
And the right thing to do is to stick up for myself, because I don't want girls getting into relationships and thinking that it's okay for people to treat them like that, because it's not. And it's okay for you to say no. It's okay for you to say, I don't want that for my life. I'm going to be selfish, and I'm going to say, I'm not being respected enough. And you need to kind of make sure you're aware of what kind of energy you're letting in. Because if you're letting negative energy in all the time, you're going to be a big ball of negativity.
And it's easy, even when you came on this live and said, which is such a, like, it just checked me in my stomach. It hit me in the solar plexus like a soccer ball. But, you know, that you didn't like yourself, you know, for a long time, which is so hard to imagine, because you're so outgoing and extroverted and full of energy and full of positivity now. But knowing that you went through a phase in time when you didn't like you, you know, when you have that energy towards yourself, it is easy for people who don't like or actually respect you or don't like themselves to also get sucked in and drawn into your world. And it becomes a lot easier to get rid of those people when you love and like yourself. It gets a lot. You can still be nice. That's the thing. You can still be positive and overflowing with love and energy and extroverted. You can still be kind to everybody. But there's a very big difference between being kind to somebody who you know is there to give back to you, and somebody who you know is there just to take and drain from you. And it felt like you developed that filter in that moment. Like, there is nothing in this experience for me. There is nothing that my ego, that my soul, that my spirit, that my yoni, that my body, that my pussy, whatever you want to call it at the time, like, nothing is in this for me. And that was really, really cool to see. And so those are the moments when you watch reality TV, you're like, oh, I pray this wasn't produced. I pray that this was like real, because it felt that way. And I think a lot of people, women and men, have been in that moment where they realize, like, now I like myself enough to know that this person has nothing for me. And so that was like that was my favorite. That was my favorite moment of the show. That definitely was.
Yeah, definitely. I was shocked because I watched it and I was like, oh my word, like, go on, girl.
He did not make it
I'm
easy
not
for you
normally
either.
like that. But I think going back to obviously like my insecurities and my confidence issues like a few years ago, it's so easy for people to look at your Instagram and to look at your life and be like, oh, she lives a perfect life and she's really thin and she looks really brown all the time. And I don't like it's mental health awareness in the week in the UK. I think today and like a few days ago and in a couple of days time. So this week is evolved around like mental health awareness. I don't know if it's in your country as well, but it's really easy to kind of look at people's lives and think, oh my word, they've got a perfect life, and put your life down and be like, oh, like, I live with my parents. I have up days, down days. Like yesterday, I tried posting a picture for Instagram. I started crying because I was like, I just don't feel good. Like my hair looks rubbish or my eyelash won't stick on properly. And as a girl, it's like you feel like you've got so much pressure on your shoulders to be this perfect influencer that has, like, what do I do with my platform? Do I try and fit in like everyone else, or do I actually make a difference? And I think that's something that me and like my manager and like we are kind of working on, because I really do want to change and help people like understand that it's okay to be up and it's okay to be down, but there's got to be a balance. And like, you can talk to people, you can talk to your friends, talk to your family, and that is really, really important. And like I said, it's coming to that time of the month, and my belly's really bloated today. I'm wearing these cycling shorts and I'm a little bit podgy, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm just embracing it.
Did you end up posting that picture?
Pardon?
Did you end up posting that picture?
Yeah, I did post it. I thought I might as well just post it after my meltdown. Then I got loads of comments saying, oh, you look beautiful. And I'm so glad that girls, like, I'm such a woman's woman, and so are you. And I really love lifting other women up, and so do you. And I think that's what we've got in common. And when I see those lovely comments, I just want to give them all a massive snog, a massive hug, and just say thank you. Little do they know I was crying 10 minutes before I posted it.
But that's all part of the journey, the story. I think that you being vulnerable enough to share those moments is what, you know, that fixes the problem that you had when you were at your lowest. When you were at your lowest, you saw all these people portraying this perfect life, or always seeming happy and always seeming connected. And what was missing was those moments where they were bawling 5 minutes before. And those, as we know, that's the truth. Like, I don't know if you watched the Michael Jordan documentary, but they were saying in it, like, you're only successful in the moment that you achieve something. And that's the same thing with happiness, the same thing with confidence, the same thing with self-assuredness. You're really only self-assured or confident in the moment that you do something well. The very next moment, when there's a new challenge, you're sort of back to square one. And you have to not just know how to be great in that moment, you have to know how to repeat that formula over and over again. And sometimes it's not going to work out for you. And so I think having an influencer like you who reveals that and shows that side of themselves and says, like, look, I'm doing the best I can every day. I'm working on improving myself. I am striving for the best, truest Chloe. But sometimes the best me is in cycling shorts and hella bloated and bawling my eyes out and making out with my dog. And that's my day. And those are the things I think that people need to see. And so, yeah, I think that you're the perfect person to have the platform that you are. And it's evident that you have so much more work to do and so much more to offer everybody. And I hope they are as grateful for you as they need to be, because you're really special.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Oh,
I'm a flirt, you know, it's my job.
Getting all emotional because of the hormones. How's it been then, like, being pregnant? Like, are you hormonal? Is it going well? Like, do you feel, are you like happy? Are you having ups and downs?
Oh, it's been awful. I mean, I'm 4 months now. So the first 3 months of pregnancy, yeah, you really have a lot of empathy. One girl, I had no sex drive. I mean, I'm a sexologist. I talk about sex for a living. I got started in this space because I felt like, you know how some kids, when they're 5 years old, they're just naturally drawn to the piano. I feel like at 5 or at a very young age, I was naturally drawn to the human body. Like I remember having my first positive sexual experience at age 5 with a pillow. Like I remember sex being important to me. By the time I was 7, my mom banned my Barbies from being naked because they never had clothes on. Like you'd walk into the room and they'd be at the grocery store naked on top of each other. So that was just like
Oh
my
my
natural
word.
energy has always just been really fascinated by human intimacy and really drawn to the human form. So for me to be going through this phase, you know, where I don't feel like being touched at all, or I don't even feel like self-pleasuring at all, was really different for me, but also really great because I felt like I could connect with people. And so many people in pandemic, whether it's because they're pregnant or because they're just stressed out or they're going through a journey like yourself where they're just getting back to who they are, like they've also gone through this period of just not feeling interested in engaging in that way, which is why I think Too Hot to Handle was legitimately the perfect show for right now. And obviously those things can't be timed, but how crazy is it that at a time when many of us can't be sexual, don't feel the desire to be sexual, there's a show that comes out about people who are learning how to change their sexual appetite and are being forced not to be sexual. So I feel like it was all so serendipitous, and that's why the show really connected with so many people. But yeah, pregnancy is shitty, but it'll get better, and it's the sacrifice that we all have to make. Well, not we all have to make, you know, if you choose to go on this journey, this is part of what you're signing up for. But I mean, you know, I've been all right. I'm alive.
Yeah.
My skin started clearing up, which is great, you know. So pregnancy has its perks. My breasts are way bigger, which has been a nice addition. So there's some pluses. There's been some nice things.
Oh my word. Haven't you got a book?
I do have a book. I wish I had it beside me. But yes, I have a book that's really just about people who have been consistently on the short end of the stick dating. So I worked with 6 women for 2018 for 6 months who were just always getting ghosted, always getting passed up, never felt like anyone's first choice, felt disconnected from their bodies, felt bestowed upon 5 people. These are actual skills. And even as you were talking, I was reminded that like confidence is not a choice, it's a result, right? When you continuously engage in self-love, when you continuously engage in knowledge and work, and you surround yourself with great
That's
people,
the end result.
it's the end result.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to really illustrate with the game of desire, is that you have to, if you don't feel confident, that's okay. Like I would much rather connect with somebody who can be honest and say, like you did, I don't like myself right now, or I don't feel connected to my body. I don't feel like my sexiest self. I don't feel hopeful in love, because that's a starting point. Because from there, you start to put the work in and figure it out. And that's amazing, because when you put a process in place, you will see progress. And like you are living proof of that.
I need your book. I've just seen a few of the comments.
Listen, you send me what you're going to be doing on Friday. I will send you my book. It's a beautiful trade-off. I love gifts, especially gifts in quarantine. So let's make that happen.
I'm all for that. I'll send you my address and you send me yours.
Yes.
I've just looked through the comments, and some of the viewers want to know what your book's called because they want to order it.
Yes, my book is called The Game of Desire. I also have a daily show right now on a new platform called Quibi, called Sexology. And every day we tackle a different subject to do with sex and relationships. Do you have plans of coming to the States? What is your, like, are you going to be that breath?
I mean, I've got a few projects in the pipework, but I mean, I definitely want to come to the States. I want to meet everyone. I want to see you. I want to see people from the show, like Bryce, Matthew, all of those. Obviously with quarantine, I can't, but I definitely want to come to the States, 100%.
Yeah, well, when you come to America, I would die to have you on the show. I would just, yeah, let's continue to help support each other. A big reason that I was able to really get into this field and learn the tools that I did is because women who were older helped me and showed me the ropes and gave me resources and gave me time. So if I can do that for you in any capacity, do not feel ever like a second thought about reaching out. I think the work that you're doing is really important. And obviously your audience loves you and they're connecting with what you're doing and you're only evolving and growing. So why would I not want to be a part of that?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I'll be on your panel, girl.
Thank you, Chloe.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. I actually do. Yeah, I think some people might be like, oh, Chloe, shut up with all this bloody women empowerment. But like, there's so many different aspects to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, being nice to girls helps with women empowerment. Like, if someone posts a picture, compliment them, you look gorgeous. That will make their day. And someone might have posted that picture and had a meltdown like I did earlier. So if you write any nasty comments or you're being horrible to other girls, then it's like, well, that's just going to make them feel even worse. So like, you need to empower them. Because if you spread love, then it's like, I can't remember what it was, but I see something. And so if you say thank you to someone, let's say, and then, no, let's do it like a driving thing. So like, I'm driving my car and driving down the road and there's a car that is on the way towards me and they need to turn left, and I stop and I let them turn left. The next time they're driving down the road and they see someone trying to pull out, they'll stop and let them turn left or right. And then that next person will do exactly the same. So it's like, if you constantly are nice and you're like positive, and even if you have your shitty down days, it's all right. But as long as you're kind of still being nice to other women and to other men, then it will impact everyone. Do you know? It's like a tit-tat, but in a nice way.
Right, because the opposite's also true. If you're driving like an asshole and you're cutting people off, then people are speeding up to cut you off, and then they're yelling obscenities at you, and then you start to develop a negative feeling and road rage and a sense of otherness to other people. So like, both things are true. You know, what you put out, the world is a lot more of a mirror than we think, and so what you put out is what you get back. And some people may not understand. Again, like, there's so many people who followed you at one given time. It's going to be impossible for you to service all of their needs. Some people followed you because they wanted to see you say stupid things or act ditzy, and they wanted to feel better about themselves and make negative comments because maybe that's how they consume the show. Some people followed you because they wanted to see tons of TNA and that's all they were interested in. Some people wanted to get up in your business. You have no idea what it is people came to you for. And so it's going to be, I think, like a learning curve for the people who are actually meant to stick around for you, that this is what your purpose is and this is who you are and what you provide. And it's not going to make everybody happy. So it's not going to make everybody happy regardless. So might as well make yourself happy.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I agree with that. Definitely. I mean, I can't wait to read your book.
Thank you, and I can't wait for your announcement. Congratulations.
What does it include? Is it about like sexual experiences, what to kind of avoid, what to kind of go for, what's kind of...
If I was to put it in like a sentence, it's the story of how I worked with 6 women to become their most confident, seductive, attractive versions of themselves. And so in the mix of that, you know, I brought on a series of experts. We spoke with a stripper, we spoke with a phone sex actress, we spoke with a self-defense coach, we spoke with a conversationalist, we spoke with a body language expert. So essentially it's like, how do I learn to become confident in the dating space? How do I learn to like the version of me that I show up as when I go to meet somebody who could potentially be my forever? So I think that, like, a lot of times we think of sex and relationships and love and dating as these abstract things that you just either are or are not good at, or either come naturally to you or they don't. Versus I'm not good at being seductive.
I am a little bit, but when I date guys, I just think I don't want to be too like, I can't really flirt, Shan, to be honest. Like I could give them a bit of like sexual banter and like give them a little wink and like just nudge them and like be flirty a little bit, but like I can't properly be a seductive woman who's sitting there like trying to be all sexy. I just can't do it. It doesn't come naturally.
First of all, you did great. Secondly, I think that's also kind of part of the problem too, is that we have these very singular definitions of what all those words mean. When we think of attractive, we're thinking of a very particular person. We think of seductive, we're thinking of Marilyn Monroe. Versus a seductive individual. Seductive essentially means to draw somebody in and have them wanting to come back for more. So you can be seductive, like one of the art of seduction, the book, The Ideal Lover. And the ideal lover is seductive because they bring out the best in other people. So what you do on your platform is your goal is to make people feel better about themselves because they consumed or they were around you. So that makes you seductive because people came to you and they got something and they're like, I want more of that. So you were already accomplishing that. I think that pigeonholing those words to like that, like, is a part of what makes a lot of people feel unattracted to it or feel disconnected from it. But if you kind of look at it like, what's my way of drawing people in? What's my way of sharing my light so that the world is attracted to it? Like, that's what the work is. The work is not like 5 tips to make your boobs more shiny so that people are drawn to lick them. That might be your way, but most people are not going to find their footing that way. And as long as you're open to the work, you know, you're going to do exceptionally well, no matter what path you choose.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're being yourself, don't ever pretend to be someone you're not, because it'll always fucking come out towards the end, I promise.
Unless you're Leonardo DiCaprio. If you're a great trained thespian, and yes, if you're one of the 5 good actors in the world, pretend to be someone else. But for everybody else, you know for a damn sure you can't act, so don't bother.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm just taking all of this. I can't wait to get your book and to read it and for people to see what I've been working on this Friday. The announcement is happening. I'm going to have to tell you after this, Shan, what's going on.
I know. Send me a picture of what this says. Like, I probably couldn't even guess if I tried. I can't.
I'm going to kind of like just tease a little bit. I'm like,
we should let somebody in the comment section see if they can. It's $1,000. If you can read her titties right now, it's $1,000 for you.
Can you read my titties? But yeah, so I'm putting a lot of thought into it. I'm announcing it on Friday, and it's really exciting. So everyone needs to be watching my Instagram because you're gonna love it.
So Friday they will read your titties and know what's on your heart and mind, and it will be put out there in the world, and we'll all be better for it. And I'm signing up.
Woo!
Yeah. I'm gonna address you. Thank you so much for having me. This is such a joy. It's so great to reconnect with you. You're just as brown as you were in Mexico, so good on you for keeping up the tan. It's looking real cute.
And congratulations.
Or maybe a picture glow.
Did you hear me?
Part. No.
I said congratulations on the pregnancy.
Oh, thank you. Me and my non-shaved armpits, but thank you.
I haven't shaved since last week, so it's fine.
Well, that's why you're smart with wearing a t-shirt. So thank you, Gulab. We'll chat soon.
Welcome.
And bye, Chloe audience.
See you soon. Bye.